Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this. This is your weekly WWE Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live review. Apologies, I was late. If you're watching this show, do you give the show a win? Do you give the show a loss? Do you give the show a tie? The shows I'm talking about are Monday Night Raw and SmackDown from this week. Apologies, it's very late, but thank you for joining me nonetheless here. If you're listening to us live, please win, loss, tie. We will get to comments right at the end, but enough of this sort of gagging around. We have two huge shows to get down here and break down. So we're just going to dive straight into it, going to plunge and plummet straight into the review. So Raw, live from Pittsburgh, we have a new set. We have red ropes. Cum is literally dripping down the side of my leg. Absolute magnificent. I was a huge, like, red ropes to me means Raw. Like, when I'm picturing in the brand split and I'm picturing the draft, I'm picturing what guys suit red ropes, what guys suit blue ropes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I've lost my virginity. Shock number one of the night. We have Shinedown as the theme music. I'm a big Shinedown mark. I'm gonna call a spade right here, right now. I am a absolute huge Shinedown mark. I went to a live concert of theirs in February. I think it was in Birmingham, really distance away, and I was a huge fan. They sang this song, I think. It's a magnificent song. So we start off with Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley. They bring the Raw roster up on the ramp. Stephanie calls Roman Reigns a loser. Oh, that's what you get, Mr. Roman Reigns. You get that, my little son. Sorry, what was that? It's Reigns, you dirty little shitbag. Does anyone actually know what he got done for? Or have they kept that close to the chest? Because I don't know if anyone actually knows yet what Roman Reigns got done for. If you're listening live here, if you didn't know, we have the internet infantry, which is what we call fan base who listen to us live. If you're listening live, please put in the comments if you know or are aware if Roman Reigns did actually get caught for doing anything. So Foley announces two fatal four-way matches with the winners facing each other in the main event of tonight's show, where the winner faces Seth Rollins at SummerSlam for the WWE Universal Championship. I like the name, and on the Twitter machine I spoke to Wrestling Ranton, and it was used back in the 80s, like it was way before I was born. But I was born in late '96, so I'd never seen a Universal Championship. But this is a point I touched on. Because of the fact that, they didn't bring back the World Championship, there was such an easy solution on the table. They could have just picked up that World Championship, went back with it. They didn't. They went with, you know what, this really is a new era. We're actually going to do something we don't do very often. You ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? They tried. They tried. They used their minds. They used their brains. They tried to think of something different. And I say this about TNA. I say this about Lucha Underground. I don't care how bad it is. I'm not going to bury it if there is evidence that you are trying. This, to me, seems like they're trying. Foley also announces Sasha Banks versus Charlotte for the Women's Championship. Only 10 minutes long, short, to the point, set the show up nicely. Boom, straight into the first match of the evening. We have the Fatal 4-Way match, qualifying, obviously, to determine the qualifiers for the qualifying match. Is really hard to explain. So basically, the winner of this match advances to the main event of tonight. It's Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Rusev. And I like how, if you remember the brand split back in 2002 of the summer, Eric Bischoff awarded Triple H the World Heavyweight Championship. Here, you actually have to earn it. So when someone does win that, it kind of feels like they actually earn it and it means something. This was a good length match. Got given a lot of time. Went through 2 commercial breaks. I'm not a fan of, one thing I don't like so far of this brand split era is because the matches are going longer, especially on Raw, that they need to learn. And this will come in time. This will come in time. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I do honestly believe that the adverts were placed in a real nasty spot all throughout this show, and I wasn't a fan of that. They need to sort that out. Cesaro, great crowd response. Some awesome spots near falls, but Finn got the win with the coup de grace. I was shocked in a fucking good way. Like, this match nearly went 30 minutes. Great length. Big fan of this match. Happy Finn Balor. Like, I was literally, after that match, I'm like, okay, we got something going here. And by the way, I don't know if I clarified this or not. I really should have clarified, but I give Monday Night Raw a weak win. Overall, I did think it was magnificent, but we'll continue. So I give that 3 stars. Okay, so we have Nia Jax. I want to get this through quickly because we have to do 2 shows and we're going to get some live comments so I can see we have some live viewers. We have Nia Jax versus Britt Baker. Nia Jax got the win with the leg drop. Nice way of introducing Nia to the main roster. It doesn't damage the other women's spots on the card because obviously that's one of the things I like about this Raw is there was a few squash matches. Now I'm not a big I have to see 17,000 squash matches on a wrestling card. But if you want to bring someone in and the casual viewers, even though there isn't none now, even though that's the thing. I'm going to sidetrack onto that. Actually, come with me. So we have these casual viewers. Okay, these casual viewers enjoyed this Raw, which means the whole time these casual viewers wanted good pro wrestling, which is what the hardcores want. And considering the fact that the casual viewers have gone, the casual viewers have gone. The casual viewers have gone. They have fucked off. They're watching Game of Thrones. They're watching The Walking Dead. They're watching anything but Raw. So why don't you give to the hardcores, the ones that are going to pay for the product? And I can't remember who told me this today, but someone told me a great analogy, and this was fucking super. I think it was Koco maybe, because I had a chat with him earlier. How about this? You're a hardcore wrestling fan. WWE's on fire. And you have a friend that's just a real big casual. Who's like, WWE's coming to town. Do you reckon I should buy tickets? If you're a hardcore fan and WWE's been awesome, you're like, yeah, go. Like, literally, the product's been awesome lately. You've now won a ticket sale. If they go, oh, WWE sucks, it's so shit, that's going to put the casual off, and the casual won't go. If that casual has a family of, say, a wife and 2 kids, that's nearly $100. If that happens a lot, making £1,000, thousands and thousands of pounds on ticket sales. Really great analogy there. But I did like how, Nia, back to the original point I was trying to make with Nia Jax and Britt Baker. Nia Jax could have came in. She could have squashed someone on the Raw roster, which is one of my main concerns. Because then once you've won 2 matches, you're then up to Charlotte. You're up to Sasha Banks' level up in the card echelons anyway. So it was good that they have her come in. They have her win a few squash matches, then insert into a program when you're ready, not when anything else. When you have a plan, that's going to work to get her over to draw you money. Then we move on from the squash matches. That was a thing that I think fucked Ryback up. Ryback was squash, boom, main event, Hell in a Cell against CM Punk. That was one of the biggest downfalls, in my opinion, of the Ryback character in general, because then he lost, and then he lost his start, then he lost at Survivor Series, then he lost TLC, they lost at the Rumble, and then by Mania he was fucking facing Mark Henry. Need I say more? So this just proves the nail in the coffin here. Squash matches work if after the squash matches you have a few months planned already. Don't just say enough squash matches, let's chuck you into a championship match and then maybe a dusty finish or anything like that. Have a plan for this girl, okay? She's not like most girls, that's the usual routine me and Booms do on the weekly NXT review. Apologies, I haven't been on lately as well, due to I haven't been able to get in my office. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. So I'm good to be back in here. No rating squash match. So a fatal 4-way match to qualify for the number 1 contendership for the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, Sheamus, Jericho. All 3 start off by taking out Reigns. That leads to a big pop. Reigns does this dive to the floor, still gets booed. Like, is there any other person on the planet who could do a dive and get booed? Everyone else gets TNA, or this is awesome, or this is wrestling. This is wrestling. Like, they get that. Reigns gets, fuck off, prick. That's funny. The match, though, the one issue I do have, and I do have this issue with a lot of Roman Reigns matches, the match is laid out in a format and a structure that has Roman Reigns as the babyface. That I have an issue with. I do like the new camera angles, though, that we're showing, and Jericho went for a co-breaker. Reigns threw him up, went to a Superman punch, completely botched it. He sucks and he's an awful wrestler. Jericho, though, does hit a co-breaker for a great near fall, and Reigns hits a spear to get the win. Something will still never change. That's Roman Reigns is going to get at least one good match on the show. I'm glad they protected Zayn. Makes logical sense to have Jericho take the fall. I'm a bit worried about Jericho. Like, I can't remember the last time I've seen him won a match. So maybe next week we have Chris Jericho defeat someone. I don't know who, maybe defeat one of the New Day because they're so over it won't really matter. But we need to get Jericho back up, because the issue is once you beat these guys to a point where it doesn't matter if you beat them. Like if just say Heath Slater beat Chris Jericho tomorrow, that would make a difference to anyone. When was the last time Chris Jericho won a wrestling match? He's not over in the eyes of, because you got to look at it as their new viewers, or it's just really strange. It's really hard to explain, but I hope most of you understand. So it was like a 2.5, 3-star match. Nothing special, but still pretty damn good for Raw standards. We have the New Day come out. They're 337th day as tag champs. They play a video package tribute for obviously their tag title reign. That Kofi had a great line, which is a tribute to Rey Mysterio. It says, "That package came and I was gone." I thought that was very funny. They then bring this fan into the ring. They ask him his name. He responds, Sonny Boy chant, until Gallows lands a beat on New Day. Sonny Boy bombs, but shouldn't use that word now, pegs it. Club hit the Magic Killer. Good heel heat from the crowd here. Corey in the best line of the night. Okay. Sonny Boy is the only one more boring than you, Saxton. Everyone just batters this man. Byron Saxton is the biggest sack of shit I've ever seen in my life. This is Byron Saxton's commentary. That's it. He has like this goofy ass grin on his face that he just wants to be slapped. It's like he's aching you. He'd be the best heel ever. He'd be the best heel ever. Just an absolute prick. Then we have my boy, Curtis Axel. I could literally claim to be one of the only men in the planet, minus Curtis Axel, Curtis Axel's mom, and Curtis Axel's children, if he has any, to actually own a Curtis Axel Better Than Perfect shirt. Yes, that shirt did exist, and yes, I was sad enough to buy one. Jojo called Axel Mr. Irrelevant. Prick. Just prick. Go fuck yourself, you whore. Axel says they saved the best till last when it comes to the draft. Neville hits the red arrow to get the win. Quick squash match. Glad Axel's out of that stupid social outcast group. I was a big fan. Obviously, going to touch on SmackDown Live review in a minute. Touch on what actually happened with Heath Slater. But I'm a big fan of Axel. I'm a big fan of Slater. Bo Dallas can go fuck himself and lose some weight. But no ratings of squash. But again, it makes sense because you can't have too many squashes, but this was a enhancement to Neville. But also they also got over this Mr. Irrelevant character that we were hoping we see in the future with Mr. Curtis Axel. Then we have the WWE Women's Championship match. We have Charlotte defending against Sasha Banks. There was this awesome spot where Sasha did a tribute to Eddie Guerrero, where Sasha, with the referee distracted, throws the belt into Dana's hands. And then as Mike Yoda turns around, he sees it, and then he sends her ass to the back where she belongs, watching on a monitor. Banks hit this suicide dive. And the name of the move is perfectly put, suicide dive. Literally landed so wrong. It reminded me of Lita in 2004. Nowhere near as bad. Still pretty cringy though with certain camera angles. Charlotte a moonsault off the top to the floor. They did this awesome spot where they locked eyes and Charlotte says, "You'll never beat me." And then Banks immediately hit the Banks statement and Charlotte taps. Banks new women's champion. Good match. These women brought it. They really worked hard. They worked their asses off. Great match, great moment. What Raw should be about. This is why I believe Raw should be exclusively for women. Just get Natalya over it, get Becky Lynch over it, get Alexa Bliss over it, get them all over it on Raw, have the tag teams go over to SmackDown, and then it's different identities. Like, because even though the roster is split in half, if you have the women's division on Raw, the cruiserweight division on Raw, tag team division on SmackDown, obviously the Raw gets 2 because it's 3 hours long and they got nearly twice as much as SmackDown. That way you can promote it's not just split in half as in the rosters. Like, you can only see tag team wrestling for tag team gold on SmackDown. You can only see cruiserweight action on Raw. You can only see women's wrestling on Raw. And I think that would be a great way to promote it. Because then say I'm a huge women's wrestling fan and I want to see a Sasha Banks match. But at the same time, I'm a huge tag team wrestling fan and I want to see American Alpha in their prime. I'm now thinking, what the fuck should I do? WWE's come to my town. I'm going to go to both Raw and SmackDown if they're in the same location because I want to see the best of both. I think that could be a great idea. I think that they should have done that, but maybe they'll regret that. I hope they don't fucking bring back the Divas title. Like, oh God, don't do that. After the match, Byron interviews Banks. "You deserve it, chance." She cuts an emotional promo saying it's been her dream since 10 years old. Really good promo. Really happy for Banks. I think they hot shot the title onto her early just to create a Raw moment, to create some bars to maybe try and get a rating. I do wish they saved that for SummerSlam. I think it could have been a great moment, but obviously we're going to get a rematch at SummerSlam between Banks and Charlotte, but it won't mean as much because, the chase is what is great about the storytelling. Like storytelling with a championship anyway, the chase, win the belt. Oh, that moment. And then, it slows down. But hopefully she has a decent title reign. Charlotte can be a challenger. Natalia, Bailey when she comes up. Alexa Bliss, Carmella. There's lots of stuff they can do. Braun Strowman faces a local competitor, gets to win with a reverse choke slam. It did its job. Tried to get Strowman over. Strowman? No, Strowman. Taz show. Huh? Enzo and Cass versus Shining Stars. So, they're getting TV time. Bless them as Shining Stars. More than before. Towards the end, Truth and Goldust, who've been playing Pokemon Go all night, just walked through the ring. That was funny. I'll be honest, I found it funny because it was a thread all throughout the 3 hours. So, apologies there before I break my fucking pen. So I was, dude, my opinion on Pokemon Go. Like, if I want to play a game on this mobile device, if I want to play a game on this, it's to relax, it's to just sit back, chill, have maybe an alcoholic beverage, maybe have a nice energy drink, swigger drink for the podcasting man. Like, if that's the case, I want it to be in my home or at work on my break or at family's home or girlfriend's home, whatever. With this Pokemon Go, I have to walk. That destroys the point of playing a game. Like, I know we're in the middle of a review of a wrestling show, and I don't want to go off topic on Pokemon Go, but hopefully someone asks me a question about that in comment time. But no rating available because obviously a squash. Enzo Cass get the win. Cass with a big boot. But I don't care. Anyway, we have a final match. We have the qualifying match to determine who will face Seth Rollins for the WWE Universal Championship at SummerSlam. We have Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor. Big fight feel here. One thing, heading in. Crowd. To be fair, considering they watch Superstars tapings, which is about 30 minutes and 3 hours of Raw, they're now at 3 hours. Well, it was 2 hours and 50 minutes. So they were actually at 3 hours and 20 minutes of actual wrestling watch. That's a long time. And they have watched some great wrestling, like the women's match, the Fatal 4-Way to kick off the show. So they've have had a lot to cheer for. But the crowd were a bit quiet for this. But most importantly, Finn fucking Balor got the win clean. Clean as a whistle. Clean as clean could get. So clean, he could see the reflection of his face on the floor. That's how well this floor was mopped. Coup de grace gets the win. Okay match, nothing special, but Balor got the win, and I was pumped. I'm legit looking at this card now. Automatically, Universal Championship. I'm happy because I've been saying this all along. I want 2 championships because then the SmackDown pay-per-views like Backlash on September the whatever it is, 19th or 4th or 5th or whatever, that will now have a WWE Championship match, and then the Raw pay-per-views can have a Universal Championship. I like the fact they're trying. They are trying, and I give them that. Overall, wow, like that was so different to what I'm normally expecting for a Monday Night Raw. It really, really is. And I'm just happy to say I watched it and it was so good. I told Koco to watch it. That's not even a lie. I said, Koco, you need to watch it. It is that good. We'll get some live comments now. Live comment time, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is where we kind of relax, kind of take the curtain back a little bit, and it's kind of a personal thing. So if you're a fan of this show, you can kind of ask questions and we interact. That's what we like to do. And I'm glad, and I'm really, really glad we have live comments. We have Ray Mustani. I'm glad you're here, Ray. Just to let you know, guys, if you are just joining, there will be a SmackDown review literally on this video, but I'm just going to get some live comments because we do live comments halfway through and then live comments right at the end again. So if you think that, oh, shit, I want to ask a question, now's your time to do it. Did last week's Raw feel like a 2004 Raw? Kind of, a little bit. Was Dolph Ziggler a bad decision for SmackDown? I'll touch upon that in a minute. Should Ziggler turn heel? Yes. Oh, yes. Will Balor win the title? Probably not. I like I said, I like the chase. Me as a fan myself, I like the chase. I want to see the chase. So hopefully he wins it at a big one. Paul Way. Sorry, I don't know. I don't want to sort your name, so I'll call you Paul W. That's the best Raw I saw for 2016. I completely fucking agree. Ray Mustani. Roman got caught for taking Adderall. Okay, that's very interesting. What's Adderall? Interesting. Should we Google that shit? Should we GTS, not go to sleep? We should never do that on the podcast. We will literally Google it right now. Adderall definition. Adderall drugs. Let's have a look. Let's see the side effects and stuff, okay? Adderall drug. Adderall is the brand name of a prescription medication used to treat attention deficit ADHD. Thank you, Ray Mastani. You are the king of porn style, and now you just made my night. He is a dirty man. Why name it the Universal Championship? Because they tried. They thought W Universe. Why didn't we call it Universal? They tried. They've tried. They bless them. They tried. Will Baylor do his demon gimmick? I'm expecting that at SummerSlam. What's next for Roman? Unemployment line, hopefully. Should Sasha have won at SummerSlam? Oh, yes. SmackDown actually bored the crap out of me. I didn't mind it. That squash match with Strowman was hilarious. It really was funny. Thoughts on Orton versus Lesnar? Who should win? My gut. You're going to think I'm fucking mad and off my head, but I'm really not. My gut, I'm not even joking you. My gut says Orton's going to win. But then again, if you build a sports, oh my, everyone watching, I hope when JBL, after Orton hit the RKO on SmackDown, when he went to the buckle and then did the pose, I hope everyone was thinking of me when JBL said, if you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you get Randy Orton. I hope everyone was thinking of me at that. But yeah, it was funny. But yeah, I think Orton will win, but that's just me being a mark. Don't want to hate on Ziggler, but is Ambrose versus Ziggler a SummerSlam worthy main event? Fuck that shit. I would pay for that. Ziggler and Ambrose in a ring. I think they could produce magic. Maybe that's just me. I just want to see a great wrestling match. Are girls attracted to tanner men? Why don't you try? Why don't you get tan? Good plan. Man with a plan. Why don't we allow Finn Balor to use his other persona? This demon gimmick is slowly running his course. Yeah, that's what I think they're going to do. They're going to only save that for big time occasions so that once they do, it will feel a lot more special. And we will get back to live comments once I've finished breaking down SmackDown Live, the first SmackDown of the new era. God, we had a better commentary team here. We had Mauro Ronaldo, David Otunga. David Otunga still employed in 2016. What a joke that is. And JBL with his stupid football punditry bullshit as usual. Decent show. I enjoyed it. But listen to me, I did not watch this one live. So there was no advertisement. For me, this show was not 2 hours long. It was actually 85 minutes. So to me, this practically felt like an NXT. Okay, so Daniel Bryan and Shane come out. They announced in September there'll be a Backlash SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. That makes me happy chappy. Backlash. I always talked about how, like on LK Books W, that series that I had and just flopped so badly. But we'll be touching on that. If anyone actually watched LK Books W, you'll know what's coming in the main event when I review it anyway. I had Bad Blood. Yeah, as my pay-per-view. I was a fan of Bad Blood, Unforgiven, No Mercy, Backlash, Judgment Day. Like at one point, if you remember when we did previews of shows, I used to make up names like I used to say, like, I think we did Judgment Day was Extreme Rules. And I kept calling it Judgment Day, and it was a really funny little rib we had going on, but it was funny. So yeah, we have Backlash coming up, SmackDown, so everyone's complaining that this show just showed how lack of depth they have. You got to remember the main event featured 6 of the key stars. So if you cut that in half, that's 3 matches, which could have been 10 minutes each. That's half an hour. Out of a show that's only about 80 minutes long, that's kind of a lot if you include adverts as well. Unbelievable. So they come out. Shane and Daniel Bryan announce a 6-pack challenge tonight. No, that doesn't mean they take the shirt off and try and win a 6-pack challenge. Otherwise, Cena would have won and Bray Wyatt wouldn't have been in the match. Winner faces Ambrose at SummerSlam, obviously, for the WWE Championship. Shane announced the participants: Cena, Bray Wyatt, AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, and a battle royal right now to determine the 6th man in the match. We have a battle royal full of loads of jobbers, toilets, and imbeciles. Breezango were in the final 6. Did anyone else notice? But are we getting a little push here for Breezango? I hope they're not pushing. Excuse me. I hope they're not pushing Breezango just to bury him. That's one of my main concerns. I'm worried that they're pushing Breezango to the point where, hey, Breezango, just to bury them to American Alpha next week on SmackDown. So obviously, it was announced that American Alpha are coming to SmackDown. That's one of my main concerns. Final 4, Kane, Kalisto, Zack Ryder, and Apollo Crews. Zack slips off the top rope because he sucks dick and he's a piece of shit. Kane sits up, launches Kalisto with one hand over the top. That's pretty awesome. Kane dumps out Zack like the worthless piece of garbage he is. Crews. Wow, we're now calling Apollo Crews. Crews flips out of Kane and dodges a Kane clothesline, eliminating Kane. Like, it was awful. Like, he kind of flipped out of a choke slam and then dodged. And Kane, he's nearly 50. So if I was wearing my hat, I'd have tilted it because the guy can still move and the guy can still work. And I have mad respect for Kane. I know a lot of people don't, but I, for one, do have a lot of respect for Kane. Crew's advanced. This to me is really strange. The best wrestler in the ring, minus ADR, but ADR's in doghouse. I don't know why. I just read that online. The best wrestler in the ring won the wrestling match. That's the way it damn should be. Battle royals are hard to rate. Hard to give this a star system because it's such a hard thing to rate. I can't rate battle royals. They're my least favorite thing. We have a pre-tape with Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler cuts a promo saying, "Tonight, I start again. And now, there ain't no glass ceiling. It's up to me to win, not the authority figures." I'm like, dude, come on. I love you. If loving Dolph Ziggler is wrong, quite frankly, I never want to be right. And seeing that as a Koco tribute, and seeing that upset me. Like, dude, you don't have to tell me that you can't reach a goal. I know you can't. We know the authority. Don't point out on the TV show if you're watching that for the first time. You're like, what glass ceiling? What authority figures are from? Like, it doesn't make sense because storyline wise, if this was a shoot, it wouldn't have happened. Confusing. I missed the Dolph damn Ziggler promos where he comes out saying that I'm the best in the business. I'm not going to steal this show tonight. I'm going to win this match because I'm Dolph's damn Ziggler. I'm not going to prove it like I prove it every night when I go out in that ring for you. Blah blah blah. Same thing, Ziggler. Just move this shit up. You're better than that. You were going to win. I don't know, actually. They book it on the fly, don't they, half the time, so it wouldn't surprise me. We have Natalya versus Becky Lynch. I actually watched it this time, as I didn't watch the Battleground match because I was on the toilet. Oh, God, this pissed me off. JBL's sports references really started frustrating me. But when he calls the actual matches, I think he's actually pretty damn good at his job. Lynch hit a leg drop off the top for 2 for a near fall. Dude, who's this? Who have we got joining me right now? I hope we're not invaded by some invading aliens. But we have someone on the air. Who have we got? Speak. We have 3 people. Booms wearing clothing. Hello, Booms.
What's up, you sexy motherfuckers? I'm back.
There's 3 people in the room right now.
Actually, I tried to go in one time and see they just dropped. So now there's just, the sexiest man of all. Everybody in that wrestling radio, right? Feeling delightfully white trash in this fucking heat wave because I tell you right now, it's hotter than fucking balls outside. I mean, I'm cleaning my fucking glasses with easy off. I mean, it's fucking hot. So decided to dress down a little bit for the occasion, show off the guns a little bit, having a good old time. How the hell are you, sir?
I'm great. You saw the Twitter message I sent you yesterday about my computer upgrading the gimmicks. I don't get computers. All I know is I know how to use Google. I know how to use YouTube. Webcams built into the computer. Plug. I can only have a microphone that actually has a USB thing plug. But well, did you watch Raw and SmackDown live?
Of course I did. What kind of internet wrestling radio host would I be if I didn't?
How many times have we come on here and you've said, "Yeah, I watched Raw"?
0. Because I'm the consummate professional, sir.
Well, considering we're professional, we'll get back to the SmackDown review, and then at the end we'll get a live comment, so we'll chill it back. And did you watch all the Cruiserweight Classic?
Yes, I've watched all the Cruiserweight Classic as well.
Well, I unfortunately after this, because it's so late, 3:18 a.m. After this, we'll talk. We'll do live comments. Have a little shoot of the breeze, and then Boom Booms can record your Cruiserweight Classic review because I'm a #lazy cunt. How about that as a bombshell? So we have Natalya at German. No, it's 3:18 a.m. and I want to catch some sleep, so I've got to be up at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So we have, I thought it was a decent match. Lynch wins with the disarmer. They were trying to counteract, in my opinion, what Sasha and Charlotte were doing. It wasn't, bad. It was just, and then after Alexa Bliss comes out, she says she is I think she said the personification of the new era or some bullshit like that. I wasn't really listening. Naomi comes out. I'm pissed off because I have to listen to her theme song. Oh, God. She comes out. She says she'll shine on SmackDown Live. Your shoes will. You won't. Carmella comes out to nothing reaction. I mean nothing. Like, you could have heard the toilet flushing in the male's bathroom louder than what you got of a reaction of Carmella. Eva Marie came out to a man speaking, calling her magnificent and whatever, etc., calling her perfect. Dude, I thought with Eva Marie, that's a great route for instant heel heat to people who don't actually follow all this internet gospel about Eva Marie being a whore. It's pretty self-explanatory when she came out. She didn't look like a women's wrestler. She looked like a diva.
Notice how they did not give her a live mic.
Dude, I love the way that she came out. They're like, you know what? Fuck this, guys. This segment sucks. Cut. Advert cut. They're brilliant. But the match itself was okay. I mean, I skipped the Battleground Natalya Becky Lynch because, quite frankly, my toilet was calling me after that Sami Zayn Kevin Owens match. So I'm glad I got to watch this rerun. However, my main concern is SmackDown. Why is there a women's division on SmackDown? There's no women's championship.
I was actually wondering that myself. I was wondering, what are they going to do? Are they going to have it to where, I know they've got the women's champion over on Raw. So does that mean that they're going to, I'm just going to say, for example, let's just say, I'm just going to pick somebody at random. Let's just say Becky Lynch goes on a winning streak. This was their first of let's just say she gets 5 wins in a row. Does that mean that she gets to go over onto Raw? Or at the next pay-per-view, whether it be a Raw or SmackDown pay-per-view, she gets to challenge the women's champion. There's a chance that the championship could spring back and forth. They really haven't explained that. I really feel like that needs some explaining. Also, I kind of like what they were trying to do. So go, hey, we got a women's division too. So they were trying to introduce everybody. I feel like it got really hokey, but I'm kind of glad they did it.
You can see clearly why, because obviously the NXT talent and obviously half the people in the audience, and there is a huge difference. It's going to take a while. This is going to take a while, but there is a difference between a Raw crowd and a SmackDown crowd. And if you've been there live, you've experienced that. There is a huge difference. There's far more children at a SmackDown event than there is a Raw event. They might not know these NXT guys, which is honestly, this is why I think they have, if you build a sports entertainer from the ground, to get Randy Orton and Big Match John on SmackDown, not only to please the USA Network by saying, look, we are taking SmackDown seriously, but also to obviously get the kids there, because the kids go to the SmackDowns. SmackDown's like the family show. So them actually saying, when I've been to Raws, the atmosphere is 20 times better than a SmackDown. So I think they should make Raw the wrestling show and SmackDown the kind of... Because what I worry is people give it the title of the B show. I wouldn't call this the B show. You have Randy Orton, you have Dean Ambrose, you have Dolph Ziggler, Bray Wyatt. That's not a B show. I'm sorry, that I don't care who anyone says that is not a B show. Even Kane, fucking nearly 50 years old, he's still plodding on. Unbelievable. But no, this was okay. I understand why they did it, obviously introducing the people to the main roster, but this is what you all came here to see. Miz TV, he comes out, he tries to interview himself, but then my boy, my beautiful, sexy honey bunny Randy Orton came out with his beautiful tattoos, ripped as usual. I've forgotten how much I love Randy. Dude, if anyone didn't think of me, when Orton got on that buckle, he did that pose, and JBL said if you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, that's what you get, Randy Orton. If none of you thought of me, I'm actually going to be upset. I'm actually expecting people to mark out. The only thing I was looking for when Randy Orton was drafted to SmackDown was, is JBL going to be on SmackDown? Is JBL going to be on SmackDown? JBL going to say, go on, JBL. Yes, my boy JBL. And then I realized, oh shit, JBL's still employed. But I get to hear him say, Dana up gets Randy Orton. That needs to be on a shirt. I think it's on a shirt. So he comes out. Orton runs down Lesnar's legendary career until he just basically says, I used to be a legend killer. Miz says SummerSlam will be Orton's first and last match back. Orton says he wants a match with Miz. Miz says you don't deserve a championship match. Orton says, fuck off, I don't want that IC title. Miz says, sure, fuck off. And then Orton disses Maurice and the marriage, and Maurice accepts for the Miz because Miz is a pussy. We have Orton versus the Miz. Miz working left shoulder. Orton selling like the absolute pro wrestler that he is, to the point where you're literally there like, dude, his shoulder is injured. And then Orton out of nowhere hits the RKO. And then he hits the RKO again to get the win. And I like how they actually structured the match of having Miz have all the offense. Because I think it protected him and protected the IC title a lot. And I think the match sucked. But no Orton-Miz match will ever be great. But I actually liked what they did here. What's your thoughts on the Miz TV and the Orton-Miz match?
it went on. The Miz TV segment went on way too long. It just went so, and I don't know if that was maybe at the point because I said something during the segment that I never ever thought I would say in my life is, oh well, thank God Randy Orton's coming out. Oh, thank you, merciful God. Oh, it's good to see Randy Orton again because I hate Randy Orton. That's why. Yeah. And
How can you hate Randy Orton?
I just think personally he's a fucking douchebag.
But in that ring, come on, if you
I'm not saying I'm not arguing he doesn't have talent. I'm not arguing that. I just think personally he's a fucking cocksmith. So I'm just whatever. But I was so glad to see him just interrupt, and then I just can't figure out the whole point of giving the Intercontinental Championship to the Miz. Because they've done absolutely nothing with him. The only thing they've done is they brought his wife in. That's the only thing they've done with the Miz. I mean, I just feel like this whole run has just been a joke. It's been pointless, and I cannot wait for someone to take the championship off of him. But I do like the fact that he hit him with an RKO, then waited specifically for Miz to wake up so he could hit him with another RKO and then get the win. But then again, doesn't that mean now that Randy Orton is now the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship?
I guess they could go back to this with the SmackDown, the Backlash pay-per-view, isn't it? Because they got that Backlash after SummerSlam, and everyone's like, "Oh, yeah, the SmackDown, the Smack."
Well, you should mention that because that's actually going to be in my new hometown right now of Richmond. I don't think I'm going to be able to go, but just thought I'd put that out there.
Because everyone's like, "Oh, the roster isn't very deep." I think it is because the 6 men involved in the main event you could easily put into 3 singles matches. You could do Ziggler versus Ambrose rematch. You could do Cena versus AJ Styles. You could do Apollo Crews versus Bray Wyatt. You can do American Alpha versus the Tag Champs.
I would say with SmackDown that they got the short end of the stick on this one. Which is obvious. I mean, you have to fill more time, so that's why Raw got 3 draft picks to SmackDown's do. But I felt like when you saw that Battle Royal at the beginning of the show, you're like, how many of these guys are really believable that could really be in this 6th spot? And if that's not proof enough, they're having to bring in Shelton Benjamin now. They're bringing him in. I mean, to kind of give you an idea of how thin they feel like SmackDown's roster is. They're bringing in somebody who really hasn't wrestled with them for about 10 years now.
I'm happy for Benjamin.
Oh, I am too. I'm just saying that I felt like SmackDown got hosed a little bit more in that draft. I really felt like they could have helped him out just a little bit more when they'd be fine.
This is how I see it. I see it as Vince. You remember you looking at it from the microscope of Vince. Vince sees that you've put Orton and Cena on SmackDown. To him, that surely has to be, look, guys, you say that we didn't give SmackDown their due. They have John Cena, Randy Orton, and the WWE Champion Dean Ambrose. That's what I think Vince sees. It's different, obviously, what everyone else sees. But me, personally, I look up and down that SmackDown, and I could happily see a 3-hour event with that. I mean, Crews Cena, AJ Cena, don't say Orton Cena. Orton Crews, Orton Bray Wyatt is a program I'm really interested in seeing an Orton versus Bray Wyatt program. Like, that is one of the programs that I'm pitching for right now. Shit, did you just have a fart or something there, Boom? That was fucking nasty.
No, it's a big storm that's rolled in. That was just a huge bolt of lightning that just went off right next to my window here.
Shit, that was loud. That was so loud it took the camera off me and went on you. Jesus Christ, and a popsicle stick. Unbelievable. Where were we? American Alpha debut next week. Good job promoting that. I like this. I actually enjoyed this part. So we have a local talent in the ring. Heath Slater comes in, beats the shit out of that worthless fucking toilet. Slater then cuts a promo saying that there must have been a mistake. Put me in the main event. And then he starts a sign Heath Slater chant. The crowd actually chanted it with him. And I'm there like, whoa, Slater's actually over. Slater's more over than fucking The Miz and half the jabrones in the Battle Royal. And he cuts a good promo.
Let me ask you this. Was that not the best promo you've ever heard Heath Slater cut since he has been with WWE?
How about this? Is this one of the only promos you've actually heard him cut since he's been in the WWE?
But he was dead serious in this.
Yes, no.
It was great.
This was Heath Slater, the man, not the cat. This was him shooting. He came out, he says, look, I've been in the Nexus, I've been with their core, I've been with the 3MB, I've been with the Outcast. I've had enough of this bullshit. I'm the hottest free agent sports doing today. Rhino gores him from behind. I enjoyed that. I'm gathering we're going to get a Rhino versus Heath Slater match. Winner gets a contract at SummerSlam. That's what's running through my mind right now. Heath Slater obviously getting the win. I honestly, that's what's running through my mind. But I like the idea of having, veterans. I won't call them legends. Veterans coming back like Rhino, Shelton Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas, the world's greatest tag team versus American Alpha. If that's not a WrestleMania match, they've done something drastically wrong throughout the year. Like, I don't care if Charlie Haas is retired. I don't care if Charlie Haas is fucking his wife right now. Charlie Haas, get your ass back in that W locker room. Shelton Benjamin needs you. American Alpha needs you. More importantly, the fans need to see world's greatest tag team versus American Alpha at WrestleMania.
Yes, make that happen.
And then we have the six-man challenge for the number one contender for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. Bray Wyatt, Baron Corbin, Corbin, Ziggles, Cruz, Cena, and AJ. Dude, Ziggler Styles. Dude, picturing that literally pre-cum just ran down the side of my leg. Like, Ziggler Styles, Ziggler Wyatt, I remember from Raw a few months ago, was great. Cruz Wyatt. This is a decent main event scene. If you just take these six alone, you could do months and months of programming with these. Like, generally, really great. Cruz hit some awesome rolling Germans, Benoit-esque. AJ springboard 450 for 2. They did a Tower of Doom on each side of the ring, which got the "This is awesome. This is our chant," like the fucking. They chant every time there's a move from the top or a dive. It's a "This is awesome" chant. Ziggler hit the zigzag, no ref, as Wyatt pulled him out to prevent a Cruz win. Cena AA to Styles for 2. Cena AAs every single one of these poor fuckers until Ziggler hits a super kick to get the win. And ladies and gentlemen, I booked this show, and if you check out LK Books WWE edition number 2 over a month ago, guess who had Dolph Ziggler win? Guess who had Ziggler become the number one contender for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam? Let me see. Me. So, WWE, you owe me money. Everyone listening right now, after the show goes off the air, check out LK Books WWE edition number 2 on this channel. So hit the subscribe button so you can see them all, and then you'll be able to see it in blue, black and blue. You'll be able to see it that they copied me for everything, even the win, super kick, then stare down. That's what I did. They hacked me. Booms, they hacked me. They owe me money. I want royalties. Mm-hmm. I want copyrights. I want promotion. I want pay. I want everything. I want to be on here having so much money, just go like stuck on the. I don't want that insulation on the wall. That insulation on the wall can be gone. I want green Vincent Kennedy McMahon dollars stuck to every point of that wall, every single part, even the clock. Yeah, I was very pleased with that. Ziggler Rambo stare down. I've been a Mr. Dolph Ziggler fan since early 2011. Actually, that's a lie. His match against Daniel Bryan at Bragging Rights 2010 was the turning point that really made me scratch my head and think, holy fuck, this guy is actually a great pro wrestler. What's he doing here? And then he lost it, the Rumble 2011 to Edge. Then he did nothing, and then he won the US title, did nothing. Won Money in the Bank, cashed in Money in the Bank, had one of the worst. He didn't defend his title once. He lost it to Alberto Del Rio. That says it all.
Now, to his defense, he did get injured. He got that concussion from, I think it was from Jack Swagger.
Yeah, because it was meant to be a triple threat ladder match, wasn't it? Extreme Rules, but
yeah, and that just derailed the plans, and that kind of derailed his career. I thought he was going to get back on track when they had that couple of years ago, that Survivor Series where he was the sole survivor of his team. I thought, okay, here we go. And then he didn't do anything. And then his contract was coming up. And I said, okay, well, he's good as gone. And then, no, he re-signed. And then they had him completely just get squashed by Rusev. And finally, we were just like, okay, he's an obedient little bitch.
It was frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
It was really frustrating. But you know what? People complaining. There's Ziggler haters out there. But if I support someone, I support them through thick and thin. And I'm a Dolph Ziggler supporter, so when Ziggler won, I legit was like going crazy, like literally like fist pumping. Like, do you know when you want them to win so bad that when you're shocked they win, you just I don't know if anyone else. I like when Finn Balor won. I legit stood up and was just running around going, "Come on, fucking yes, yes!" I was like suffering through so much shit to have a SummerSlam card featuring Orton Lesnar, Rollins, fucking Finn Balor for a world title, Dolph Ziggler Ambrose for a world title. That is your SummerSlam triple main event. That is what I want as a WWE fan. The best wrestlers wrestling for the Wrestling World Championship. That to me is how it should work. Boom. How long have we been saying this for? Boom. How long? Jesus Christ, it's unbearable. Like, we've been saying this for months and months and months and months and months. Have the best wrestler be your world champion. Now, that could happen. Like, in 3 days, in 2 shows, in 5 hours, they turned me from the biggest narcissistic WWE piece of shit, just I watch because I have to kind of, to now where I'm actually excited for Monday to watch Monday Night Raw. Like, I want to watch Monday Night. I want to see how they build Rollins and Finn Balor. Like, I want to see if Brock's going to be there. What's Paul Heyman going to say if he's under contract again? Like, what's going to happen? Like, I'm actually not dreading Monday nights for the first time in about 5, 6, 7 years. I'm intrigued and excited. This SmackDown was dull. I'll be honest. Shoot from the hip. It was dull and boring. But I like the new direction. I really, really do. Ziggler Ambrose. I can't stress this enough. This is what I want from WWE. Treat your hardcore fans, the paying customers, like your audience, not your enemy. If you treat us like your audience, we are going to come on here, we're going to put you over. Then when casual wrestling fans come up to me and say, "Hey, LK, do you reckon I should go to this Raw show down the road?" Yes, you should, because Raw is awesome. Then they're going to go. And just imagine how many people that could be. Or if they go, if this was last year, "Hey, okay, should I go to Raw?" No, don't go. They won't go. And think, if that's a family of 4 every single time and 5 people come up to ask me, that's 20 people. 20 people for $20 each. Work that out in your head, that's over $400. If everyone did that, you're looking at a lot of money. Like, so I think it's so simple. It's so easy. TV ratings were up. It's just do it more. Like, one thing that worries me is that Vinnie Mac gets bored, doesn't he? Like, I'm really worried that he's going to get bored of this experiment and just say, "Fuck this shit, whatever." Like, that just really worries me. But hopefully it's not too clusterfucky. But we'll get some live comments.
Yeah, let's get some live comments here, brother.
Dun 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 dun. Bum 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 bum. So that, where were we? I'll go. I like the division you were referring to. It's a good option. Why not? If you want to see this go to Raw, if you want to see that go to SmackDown. That's from JC Garcia, referring to me, implying having a women's division and cruiserweight division on Raw, and then a SmackDown tag team division. This is from Paul W. If WWE bring back Nikki Bella to beat Sasha for that title, I'll probably lose my shit. JC Garcia. Is it like a tradition to watch wrestling and drink beer in England? I love beer. Which do you suggest? It's not really a tradition to watch wrestling with a beer. There's not really a tradition to how it does. It depends on what you're watching, but there is nothing better than on a Sunday afternoon. You just eating your Sunday roast and you're feeling really full and bloated. You go out in the garden. It's magnificent. You take your laptop out. You put New Japan World on. You get a nice cold, like not too cold, but enough to just wet the whistle at the back of your throat. Alcoholic beverage, maybe a Carlsberg. And just slowly, just drink that, and
don't drink any of that warm beer shit. No, cold beer. It's the only way to drink beer is cold.
Definitely. Cheers from Mexico.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Gracias, senor.
Which is your favorite CML luchador? Here in Mexico, the rumors are Volador Jr. and Rush will probably go to NXT. Manny Lasombra suggested it. Yeah, I you know what? Rush I saw in a match from a Lucha Elite, and he came out to Chris Benoit's theme song, and that is no word of a lie. I'm like scratching my head like, dude, like Benoit's like my all-time favorite wrestler. Like, I love this guy already. Yeah, but he wrestled Lucha Elite. I know that's what I've seen him from. He wrestled La Parka Really good match, actually. The Parker still got it. It was really funny, but the lights were pissing me off. So, yeah, what's your... The issue is they don't like having too many masked guys. Like, they never do. Like, what's your thoughts on all these CMLL wrestlers going to NXT?
Oh, actually, I like it. The more the merrier. And that's the good thing about when you pull in some outlet somber, because that's your foot in the door to a whole different pool of talent in a different country to appeal to a different demographic, a different culture, just all kinds of different things. And so now that they've got him up in there, now he's going to be your best recruiter. Actually, and him and Grant, I guess Grant Metallic, they've signed him too. So uh, CN Almas and now Grand Metallic, those are going to be your best recruiters from Mexico. They're going to go back and tell, WWE's going to be like, hey, do you know any more luchadors, any more people be interested? Like, yeah, like, we think we know some people. And they'll call them. They go, oh, man, you got to get up here. It's great. And boom, there you go. You got a steady supply line now. So I think it's great. I wish they would have more luchadors, more masked people. I know you can't have everybody, everyone who's from Mexico and a luchador to wear masks, but I wish they would have a little bit more masked wrestlers than what they do, because I think that's, for one, I think it's good because it kind of adds to the superhero mystique of it because you're playing a character. Two, that's extra merchandising right there because not only can you sell an action figure, a T-shirt, you can now sell a mask. So there you go. So that's more. That's some more money that you're bringing to the table, and plus you're appealing to your Latin demographic. I mean, that's a very fast-growing population. That's a population that absolutely loves professional wrestling. And if you want to bring them into the United States product to get and purchase the WWE Network and go to shows, I think it's a very smart move.
Fair enough. Rey Mysterio is obviously, if this is your first time, Rey Mysterio is a loyal listener to this show. He's allowed one.
Oh, I love Ray. I love Ray. I do.
He's allowed one.
People think I'm trolling. No, I legitimately love Ray.
It just adds the variation to the show, and that's what every show needs. So Ray's question, Booms.
Okay.
Booms, are women attractor to tanner men? I'm guessing men with more tan.
Yeah, they are. He's kind of referring to me because in this lighting I look very pasty white, but it's actually kind of funny he should mention that because it was actually okay. This is embarrassing story time brought to you by Boom Boom. About a week ago, I had an incident with a tanning bed. At the gym where I work out, I get with the package that I purchased with my gym. I can tan anytime I want for however long I want. No extra, because it's the package that I have with my gym. And I usually, get it. I don't get in there long. I usually get in there like 7 minutes or so, just to kind of enough to where I'm not pasty white. And well, it was like almost a week ago. I go in there, and the bed that I normally use wasn't working. So they said, hey, okay, you just need to try one. And there was 2 other rooms you could try. And so I said, okay, let me get room number 2. And in room number 2, instead of like the traditional tanning bed that you just lay down, like you shut the lid, looks like a casket. No, this one was a stand-up one. This one was stand-up. You stand in there the entire time. And I said, oh, it's got to be the same, as the other one. So I said, okay, 7 minutes, and got in there, and I was fine. And then I get out, I was fine. I go take a shower, get dressed out, go back home. I was fine. I went to go take a nap, but by the time I woke up, I was burnt from like here. I mean, all the way straight down. I mean, I was red. I mean, fucking red. And so the fact that nobody can kind of see the tan kind of pisses me off because I mean I am a little more tan than what I was in this light. I just look so damn pasty right now, which is not very attractive. I understand that. So thank you for pointing that out, Ray. I really love that. Thank you.
There's some arguments going on in the chat about thinking about SmackDown as the B show. Blah blah blah. I don't know.
I don't know if I would call it the B show. It's just 2 totally different presentations. I mean, it's just, which I love. I love the fact that they're presenting these 2. Technically speaking, I want you to think of Raw as like one company and SmackDown as another company. Yes, I know it's owned by WWE, but you got to kind of get in that mindset. It's going to be kind of like a little bit different. It's like, the Raw is going to be your peanut butter and jelly, whereas SmackDown's going to be your grilled cheese. They're still sandwiches, but they're just 2 different. One's a little sweet, the other one's savory. So you got to think of it that way. They're both delicious.
Yeah, this week they were. Let's hope they are next week. What else? We got some NXT talk. I think Baylor is different. Blah blah blah. Dolph Ziggler is such an awesome wrestler. SmackDown should just let him be. Dolph for heel. Yes, yes, I agree. I fucking agree with that. JC Garcia. Ziggler needs to be heel in this. He needs to be heel. He needs to say, you know what? I should have had this years ago. I'm this. I'm that. I'm fucking Dolph. Damn Ziggler. Okay, what's a technical term for wrestling in England? I want to learn new vocabulary. We call wrestling wrestling. It's just wrestling. There's no.
Well, I guess I can kind of expound upon that.
There's
Just so his question's not wasted. What would you say defines like British wrestling? I've heard about the British style of wrestling. So what would that be?
we call that English wrestling. Like I call that English wrestling. Like I don't know. Like there's the world of sports style. We call some if like Zack Sabre Jr. wrestles a world of sports style, which is like 1980s, like William Regal, Fit Finlay kind of style. That's called the world of sports style. But it's just like when I go to indie show, like I'm going to one in August 12th, which is coming up fucking very shortly. I'm going to the Will Ospreay Vader show, which I'm mega fucking pumped for.
Funeral services.
Yeah. So I'll be there, and if you're there, you can buy me an alcoholic beverage for all the time I've given you. Yeah, I'm joking. I don't. It's English wrestling. Like that's all I've ever called it, English wrestling, like English independent wrestling. Yeah, Bradley Cassidy puts World of Sport. Also check out Progress and ICW. Shout outs, LK. Yeah, I've been to ICW. I need to get a Progress. I've seen some Progress on their on-demand service. But the ICW was great. I went in February. They went to Bournemouth, which is nearabouts where I live. So yeah. As a Brit, JC Garcia, look up Doombar, Tropper Alley, or Newcastle Brown Alley. That's for some old school pro wrestling. Rey Mysterio has a actual question that is an actual question that he needs answering here.
Okay.
Boo Booms. Okay. What's the best to work out for his lower abs?
For lower abs, well, I mean, there are several you can do to work your abdominal. It's actually kind of funny because that's the one thing I knew I was kind of lacking. So I've been doing some exercises lately. It's been focusing on my core. Still got a lot of work to do, but let's see. I recommend something like a Russian twist, bicycle crunches. Let's see. Another one is like a cable. It's like a pull down. I'd have to show you. I don't know what it's called. And then there's another one where you work when you're in. It looks like a seat, but with obviously no seat. You got to throw your legs up. I would recommend that. That's what I would do. But really, I think if you stick with the Russian twist and the bicycle crunches, you can't go wrong with that.
There you are. Look, there's nothing this show doesn't give you. Sex advice, lower workout advice. Review 2 shows. What more do you want? We talked about some old school English shows. What more do you want? Apologies if we didn't get to all the live comments. There was a lot of them, and thank you everyone for being active in that chat tonight. Booms is about to do a WWE Cruiserweight Classic review. I'm going to hit the racks. It's nearly 4 a.m. UK time, and I have to be up in about 6.5 hours, maybe at a push. So thank you very much for joining us. From Boom Booms, from LK. Make sure you stay safe. Make sure you stay well, because it's an absolutely fucked up and atrocious world out there. And shame on, not shame on you, because you watch this. You're one of the good ones. If you watch this, you're one of the good ones. So stay safe, stay well. From LK and Booms, I'll catch your asses down the line.